We've compiled a list of 31 questions to help you determine if you or someone you love is currently in autistic burnout. And also, pay special attention to the last question, because that's the one that must be present in order for it to be considered autistic burnout. 1. Do sounds that normally don't bother you really bother you now? Normal sounds might suddenly bother you to the point of creating tension or giving you a headache or making you retreat to your room by yourself. By normal, I mean things like the sound of your refrigerator running, or the AC hum going on or off, or even your spouse chewing food or breathing. Sounds that are usually not so noticeable and don't evoke a reaction most days might enrage you now. You don't know why, but right now, those sounds hurt. And before I keep going, if you want something to help you follow along, I've included a free printable version of this quiz. Link is below in the description. Let's keep going. Number 2, do you lose it when you encounter small setbacks or inconveniences? Do you feel frustrated basically all of the time? You're really easily annoyed or frustrated. Something that usually wouldn't be a big deal is now a huge issue. You have zero tolerance for wordiness or extra questions because they hurt your head. When you run out of toothpaste, you might have an epic meltdown. You have absolutely no ability to handle basically any frustrations. If you're able to hide it, you feel it inside. It's churning and bubbling. You're like a rubber band that is pulled as tightly as possible. You're constantly irritable, and even tiny things can set you off. One little thing can mean a breakdown, or shutdown, or even a meltdown. Number 3, does your brain shut down daily, possibly even multiple times a day? You just can't take a lot of things, so you shut down frequently. You might know this isn't helping, but your brain just does it anyway. And right now, it does it constantly. You leave conversations unfinished. You hide in the bathroom or safe spots away from people at work, and you basically close yourself off as often as you can. Number 4, no matter how much you rest, do you still always feel tired? Even though you are doing less, you're still always freaking tired. You have absolutely no energy and constantly feel drained. It doesn't matter how long you sleep at night or how many hours a day you spend in bed or curled up on the couch. You have no energy. Even putting clothes on feels like an incredibly challenging task, not to mention having to think about what to wear. 5, do you struggle to do basic things that used to be automatic for you? Yeah, that fatigue I just mentioned, this includes basic life things you usually don't struggle with. Things that non-autistic people wouldn't probably even understand, like showering, brushing your teeth, even eating or drinking. It's like extreme depression, but it's more than that. You might not even be able to think about how to do certain things during burnout. 6, are you forgetting things all of the time? You can't remember basically anything. Short-term memory sometimes struggles on good days, but during burnout, the autistic brain seems to shift how it works. It goes into a form of autopilot to just keep you doing really basic functioning. Like when a computer is fixing itself and you can only access limited features. For you, maybe you're a delivery driver. You drive the same routes every single day. But right now, you don't remember street names. You can't remember the names of the people you work with. And you can't even remember where you parked. Wait, I have that same problem even when I'm not in autistic burnout. But during burnout, your brain has extremely limited capacity for any cognitive tasks at all. You can't even remember talking to that person from last week, let alone what you said to them. 7, do you struggle to think logically or rationally on a daily basis? Like your memory, your brain also isn't logical right now. You have very limited capacity for any social reasoning. Instead, you seem to default to an emotional reaction or just shutting down. If someone asks you something that requires thinking, you're likely to sit there looking confused or angry. The same exact question might have been something you could answer or a problem you could solve in seconds when you're not in burnout. Thinking through anything during burnout sucks. 8, do you get angry when people ask you questions? You might not generally like questions, but during burnout, they can enrage you or send you into a tailspin of emotions. And when I say a question, it could be, hey, do you want to eat before or after the show? Or, hey, how do you want your steak done? Not mind-boggling questions here. Possibly even ones you answer every day, like, what do you want for dinner? That has sent me into a meltdown during burnout. Or the dreaded, how are you? Oh no. No. You don't want to go there right now, buddy. 9, are you finding it incredibly hard to mask? Masking can be hard even on normal days, but during burnout, I actually can't. The mental capacity it requires is way too much, and it's not happening. So hiding my autistic tendencies, like stimming, tolerating overstimulated environments without running away covering my eyes and ears, being able to follow a conversation or at least appear that I am. These are just a few things I regularly mask, but it's so much harder during burnout to mask that I just can't, which connects to the next one. 10. Do you generally feel a lot more anxious? When I know I can't mask, but I still have to go out in the world, my levels of anxiety automatically skyrocket. I feel like everyone is looking at me, and I don't like it. Not at all. And other autistic people report feeling the same way. And if we feel anxious because we can't mask, it could lead to the next sign of burnout. 11. Are you staying home pretty much all of the time and not going out as much as you used to? Now, you might be someone who likes to stay home anyways, but during burnout, it might not feel like a choice. You might stay home because you literally cannot handle the world, and you can't mask. And then you feel anxious, so you want to be home basically all the time. During a period of burnout for me, I didn't leave my apartment even once for almost a week. And I live in a tiny place. I felt confined and trapped, which was horrible. But I also couldn't bring myself to go outside and face people. So I hid. And when I finally went out, it was around 2 a.m. when I knew there wouldn't be people around. For me, this isn't normal, but during burnout, it became the new norm. 12. Are you unable to focus, even on important tasks, and find yourself zoning out way more than you used to? My brain is all over the place during burnout. Really not anywhere productive, but it's rarely focused. It's jumping around and I'm zoning out constantly. This is common for autistic people, but especially during burnout. We struggle with focus regularly because of our neurology, but during burnout, even when I try to focus, it feels nearly impossible. I might be trying to watch a TV show, and I can't even go 5 minutes. Reading? Yeah, right. It's basically impossible. Even reading emails. A few words in, and the words are all swimming on the pages or screen, which makes it hard to do much of anything, even when we have to. 13. Are you struggling to fall asleep and stay asleep every night? And with the autistic brain going all the time, even during burnout, it can be really hard to sleep. Even when I'm not in burnout, I struggle with sleep, and so do many autistic people. Up to 80% of autistic kids are estimated to struggle with sleep. And let me tell you, those don't just go away when you reach adulthood. But the recovery time and battery is much more worn down for autistic adults. And then burnout happens. And then the trouble with sleep cycles seems to get even worse. 14. Are you having trouble remembering words or putting together full sentences? Autistic burnout is marked by loss of skills. So things you can do normally, you just can't do right now. Like speech, stringing together coherent sentences, remembering specific vocabulary words, being able to remember what you're talking about in order to complete a thought, being able to participate in conversation, explaining ideas or feelings, things you could do before, but suddenly these things are too much work, or you're not able to do them at all. It's like the words are not forming in your mouth. And that's not the only skill that you lose during burnout. 15. Are you having trouble completing basic tasks like calming down or figuring out when to leave the house to arrive at your destination on time? Executive functioning is already challenging for most autistic people. But during burnout, you might lose the executive functioning abilities that you normally have, such as being able to calm down or regulate your emotions, being able to plan or carry out multi-step tasks, dealing with interruptions, figuring out when to leave the house to get to places on time. All of these are examples of skills that you might lose during autistic burnout. And it's not because of a lack of effort. You might really try to do it, but skills related to executive functioning are often way worse or completely absent during autistic burnout. 16. Are you stimming a lot more than usual? Like I said before, it's harder to mask during burnout, but you will also be more agitated and get overstimulated more easily and frequently. You'll probably find that you stim more often, and that's okay. You are doing it because that's what your brain needs at this time. If you try to suppress it, you might feel pent up and even more agitated. Either way, you'll probably notice you're stimming way more than usual. 17. Do you feel like being by yourself pretty much all the time? Because everything is so hard during burnout, you just want to be left alone. Being around people is way too hard. It reminds you that you're unwell. There's lots of noise, especially if you're usually fairly extroverted. You have to answer questions, talk about how you're feeling, or explain why you're not up to doing anything. Even responding to text messages. You can't talk, and everyone wants to give you advice. A lot of the advice is actually wrong for autism. Getting out and doing something, being around people, another reminder that you're alone. So, you want to be alone more and more. But being alone all the time can also be dangerous when you're left with only your thoughts, and they aren't good during burnout. 18. Do you feel helpless and hopeless often? During burnout, you feel helpless and hopeless. But it gets worse because you know this isn't normal. You know you have to rely on other people for help, or that you're not pulling your weight at work or at home. So you have feelings of guilt, worthlessness. You feel like you can't do anything, and that scares you. You don't know how long this feeling will last, but you feel horrible, not only because of the sensory issues, not only because of normal autism challenges, but because life is overloading you. And this is also so much to handle during burnout. It leaves you feeling paralyzed, helpless, and hopeless. But that's not all. 19. Do your muscles constantly hurt, and do you get headaches more often than you used to? Because you're constantly on edge, you can't relax. For me, when I'm tense, it means a lot of muscle pain or tension headaches. This tension is constant, and every day it gets worse. So you're just exhausted and drained from it all. Your brain might feel like you're being squeezed in a vice, or you might have sharp stabbing pain. For me, sometimes my brain feels like it's on fire, or sometimes it feels really, really icy, like a bunch of liquid nitrogen has just been dumped on my head. It just hurts constantly. 20. Do you feel like your brain is in a constant fog? And then your brain just doesn't work. You have constant brain fog. Can't think clear thoughts. Your brain hurts and feels like it's literally on fire. You want to think coherent thoughts, but you just can't. Again, it's like your brain has switched into some primitive, limited form. You can't push it or you'll have a meltdown or a shutdown. And that head pain I talked about in the last section, 21. Do a number of health issues keep popping up? As if everything else wasn't already too much, health issues usually arise too. Maybe it's skin issues. Your diet is probably not great right now, so you might have some stomach issues or headaches. Your immune system is probably shot because of stress, poor diet, lack of sleep. You're getting sick more often and not able to recover quickly. You're not coping well, and neither is your body. 22. Do small unexpected changes lead to strong emotional reactions? Changes in routine can always be hard for an autistic person, but during burnout, even tiny changes can lead to huge emotional reactions. Much bigger than if the same exact thing happened during a normal time. The same with reactions to things like certain textures. They might bother me sometimes, but during burnout, if it's a clothing item, I want to rip it to shreds. So intensely that it looks like I got attacked by a mountain lion, or a raptor, or a giant furry wombat. All while I'm yelling or having a huge emotional reaction to it. It's not fun. I probably shouldn't have mentioned that part about the furry wombat. Are you having meltdowns regularly? A lot more frequently than you used to. You are really on edge, and anything can set you off. Changes in routine are always hard, but during burnout, what? You might end up curled in a ball on your kitchen floor crying because you can't find your favorite spoon in the drawer. And because your brain isn't working well, you might put your keys in the wrong spot. Maybe you can't find them. You keep having more and more meltdowns and shutdowns. They probably get more intense too. When I was in burnout, I was sometimes having meltdowns multiple times a day, several days in a row. Everyone around me was walking on eggshells because I was so irritable and unable to hide it. I didn't want to have meltdowns. They hurt my brain and body, and they're completely exhausting. But because of all that happens during burnout, it kept happening. Even when I told myself, dude, don't do that, it still happened. More and more often, bigger and more intense meltdowns. And it could be about anything, even the weather for the day, which my logical mind knows I have absolutely no control over. 24. Do you lose it when you're interrupted? I mean, really lose it. Your brain doesn't work well, but if you somehow manage to get a thought or do some work, you cling to that. But during burnout, those thoughts are so fleeting, even more than usual. So your response if someone interrupts that usually might be irritation or frustration. During burnout, it's rage or intense overwhelm, maybe tears, a complete meltdown. When you're autistic, you might often have monotropic thinking or not want interruptions to what you're doing. That's part of being autistic. Autistic inertia, where you want to see things all the way through to completion. It's also normal, but interruptions are potentially disastrous during burnout. 25. Do you feel disconnected from your own body? Maybe as a defense mechanism, you might seem to escape your body. Basically, you feel disconnected from your body. Your brain feels disconnected. You have these out-of-body experiences pretty regularly, almost all the time. It's like you're an observer of your own self. Yes, you're controlling your body. Your body still works, barely, but you feel like it's over there and you're over here. These feelings might happen pretty often during burnout, almost like there's an on or off switch between you and your body. It's like a temporary escape from yourself. 26. Do you have an intense desire to escape from your own brain and body? You might temporarily escape your body like in the last one, but you might also feel an intense desire to be rid of your brain or body, or both. It's intense and dark and hard. It might feel like you need to get out of your own skin. You just want to get out of it because it's itchy and uncomfortable and so noisy. Your brain and body just hurt all the time. You might imagine floating or getting out of your body. You need an escape. 27. Are you finding it hard to think or care about loved ones? When you're in burnout, you're not only disconnected from yourself, but also other people. Like I said, you don't want to be around them. You might push them away, even if you need help, even if you like them. During burnout, you just feel disconnected, and it's harder than usual to empathize. And that can be hard to hide because, like I said, masking is also harder. Your spouse telling you a story about something that happened at work can make you want to say something rude like, "I don't care about that," just to make the noise stop, and because honestly, you don't care at that moment. You want people to be away from you, but might not feel like you can tell them that. If you're a parent, you might feel guilty that you want to be by yourself instead of around your kids. So it's lonely, and you might not even feel like you can tell anyone these feelings. You don't want to hurt other people, but your horrible burnout feelings just build. 28. Are you no longer interested in things you used to be really interested in? You're also disconnected from your own loves. Your passions or special interests, which most autistic people have, just don't interest you anymore. This in itself feels like a huge loss. The thing I love normally isn't something that can help me feel better now. I don't even want to talk about them. That's scary for me. If I have no interests or passions, where does that leave me as a person? This can feel almost as alarming to me as the health issues, the brain fog, all of it. It's like a loss of part of my identity, like losing a best friend. I wonder if it'll come back or if I'll ever feel interested in anything again. It feels really, really depressing in those moments. 29. Do you feel like you're starting to get better one day, only to have the next day be a total disaster? Energy levels, moods, even health issues fluctuate from day to day. This could lead you to feeling like you're getting better in the morning and then pushing yourself to do something. Then something happens that puts you right back into that cycle of loss of skills and extreme duress. It can change day to day or week to week. Some days will be nearly unbearable and others will seem okay. But the entire period of burnout continues to stretch, which I'll talk about in a minute. 30. Do you feel like things are so hopeless that you don't want to keep living? On those really hard days, those feelings of wanting to escape your body might lead to very, very dark thoughts. Thoughts that you'd be better off without the pain and discomfort, that you're a burden on everything, that your brain will never work again. These feelings can come and go in waves, but the longer they last, the harder it is to believe things can improve. But very important to note, they can and will get better. Once your brain gets time to heal and possibly after making some major life changes to accommodate your autistic self. But it takes time, lots of time, which leads to the final point, which must be present for this to be considered autistic burnout. 31. Have these symptoms been prevalent for 3 months or longer? Autistic burnout is defined as lasting for 3 or more months, and I'll drop the research below. More research needs to be done, but autistic burnout is characterized as being very long-lasting and can go on for years. If left unaddressed, it can be debilitating and lead to loss of work, loss of relationships, and ongoing isolation. This is why autistic people and the people around them need to understand this in order to support the autistic person who is suffering immensely during burnout. Also, this seems more common the older autistics get, but it doesn't have to happen if autistic people can get the support and the environment they need. We'll talk more about that in another video. If you're in autistic burnout, it's important to know that it is treatable. I recommend watching this video next. This is such a long one. Oh my God, it's getting darker outside. It's getting darker. I feel like I've been here all day. I've been doing this forever. I'm hungry. I feel hungry. I'm so hungry. I can't eat though, I'll get something in my teeth. Little spit things will fall down, that's gross. You don't want that. We're talking burnout and you don't want this happening down here. I'm down for burnout. I am.